by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
It's cold and cough season. I'm Kenneth Craig in New York with advice from doctors on how to get some much needed relief.
I'm Kenneth Webb in Opportunity, where the town's soil and water are contaminated due to the smelting plant. Hear their side and what they want done coming up.
6:30 on this Monday. Chitlin and Missy O'Malley with you here. Our top story: cold and flu season hitting hard this year. Trying to find some relief may be a challenge,
especially when it comes to finding the right medicine to treat your symptoms. Kenneth Craig spoke to the doctors about what works and what doesn't.
Victoria Roldan is one of the millions of Americans this season packing doctors' offices in the throes of a nasty cold.
Sore throat, ear infection, as always, coughing.
Navigating how to treat the cold, cough, and flu can be overwhelming.
This is our busy season.
Dr. J.D. Zipkin at Go Health Urgent Care in New York City recommends starting with a base of ibuprofen or acetaminophen for aches and pains, often found in multi-symptom over-the-counter cold remedies.
They have a good mix of things, and they just do a shotgun approach to try to treat a whole lot of symptoms at once.
But he says the most effective nasal decongestants for anyone except children or older adults are behind the counter and contain pseudoephedrine. Steroid-based nasal sprays can loosen congestion. Sinus rinses like neti pots and saline sprays may also help. Dr. Zipkin says cough suppressants may lessen a nagging dry cough, but
one of the most common mistakes I see are patients who get the combination cough suppressants and expectorants, trying to turn off their cough and help their cough along at the same time. It doesn't really work.
And doctors say when it comes to herbal remedies and vitamin C, they may shorten symptoms slightly but aren't recommended. Victoria was diagnosed with a virus, so while cold medicines will help relieve her symptoms, she'll still have to ride out her cold for 7 to 10 days. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
Now, doctors say children, pregnant or nursing women, and those with high blood pressure should be extra careful when shopping for cold and cough medicine this time of year.
It's a hard decision.
for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of things to choose from.
I just choose to stay healthy as long as I can.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Don't
That's
touch
your
your face
plan.
and just go outside a little bit.
Yeah.
With that, we'll talk a little bit about our weather. There's some slick areas out there. Sure. Not everybody dealing with it, but we've had some freezing mist at times. Now we're seeing a couple of snowflakes. Not a huge issue, but enough that you want to leave a little extra time this morning if you live in Gallatin or Madison counties. That's where we're seeing most of the reports right now. The temperature still right around the freezing mark in Belgrade. It looks like temperatures holding for the most part, but we are looking at temperatures dropping later in the afternoon. Best potential for slick roads probably early in the morning, and again, that's mainly east of the divide. We may have a little bit of fog in the mining city at times this morning. We've got some snow in the forecast. We'll talk more in depth about that, of course, coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. 6:33 now on this Monday. Our top local story: a vehicle caught fire near Bozeman Pass Sunday evening. Firefighters from Fort Ellis responded to a truck that was engulfed in flames. 911 dispatch received a call around 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon, mile marker 316 on Interstate 90. Westbound interstate was reduced to one lane to allow firefighters a chance to extinguish that blaze.
The occupants of the vehicle noticed smoke coming from the rear of the vehicle. They pulled over. When they pulled over, the vehicle caught on fire, and that's all we know right now.
Fortunately, everyone in the pickup made it out safe. Fire department still investigating what was the cause of that fire.
In other news, on your Monday morning, there are 98 residents of Opportunity, Montana, and all are involved with a lawsuit with Atlantic Richfield Company. Those 98 residents all have one common goal. They want their properties to be cleaned up from the contaminants left by the historic copper smelter in Anaconda. MTN's Kenneth Webb has our story.
We didn't put it there, and we shouldn't be responsible for removing it. The company put it there, and they should be the ones that have to take it out.
The residents of Opportunity that are in this lawsuit are frustrated because their lands are contaminated with more than 250 parts per million of arsenic, which is well above the normal safe levels.
Yeah, it's just obvious, you know, if the levels are high, they're above what historic levels would be had that smelter not existed. Then yeah, you know, it's their issue that it's polluted. They should need to clean it up. You know, it's been frustrating from the fact that, you know, they've admitted themselves that it needs to be cleaned up, and yet they'll clean up all around me. They've got all the equipment right on location and still avoid doing my property.
I'm very upset and frustrated. I'm even afraid to mow the grass because there's dust, and I don't know if I'm breathing that stuff in, because showing it's contaminated. I don't like the kids to play out there in the yard. I'm afraid of them. I mean, we've had dogs get cancer from it. We think it's from it. They get it from something.
If I'm littering, if I'm playing my music too loud and it's disruptive to my neighbors, I need to stop. I need to remedy it. I need to make sure it doesn't happen again. If my dog's biting somebody, it's on me. Well, their Smelter's a big dog that's bit an awful lot of people, and it needs to be taken care of.
The residents of Opportunity are only wanting their land restored to its original state before the smelting plant was even built. All we want is our yards clean. And that's it. That's all I want. A nice yard that I can feel that, is safe for the kids. Safe for me, safe for the dog, safe for anybody that goes out there.
I'd like to see it remediated to safe levels so I don't have to worry what my kids are doing, what they're getting on them, what my pets are dragging into the house. Seems reasonable.
If my neighbor throws a bag of garbage over the fence, you can damn sure bet he's going to come over and pick it up. I'm not going to pick up, and that's the same thing as that. That's their garbage. Get it out. Get it out of my yard. I don't want it here. The residents and their attorneys are happy to finally get their day in court to go after ARCO.
For decades now, they've been the victims of corporate greed and corporate pollution dumping on their properties. And we are trying to make ARCO accountable and responsible for what they did. These folks that we represent have no political power, really, or economic power to do anything. They're simply there to ask ARCO to do what's right and to return their land into the state it was before this all happened.
So if not for the courts, I don't know how we as landowners would be able to address the contamination issues that ARCO has placed onto our properties. I'm glad we're finally going to get our day in court. I hope to see it happen. And it's time that we air this out.
Now, the Montana Supreme Court has offered us the opportunity to go actually have a trial where we'll have 12 regular people and ARCO on the other side, and we'll have a fair playing field to have our dispute resolved. And all we've been asking for all these years is just come and clean up your mess.
Unfortunately, ARCO and their attorneys declined to comment, and we will continue to update this story when we learn more information. Reporting from Opportunity, Kenneth Webb, MTN News.
Now, the Beck, Amsden, Staples law firm is holding a public meeting in Anaconda on January 23rd for people who live in Anaconda and Opportunity. If you'd like to hear some of the residents tell their experiences of a lifetime of contamination in their community, visit us online.
In other news this morning, Airbnb, a way to open your own home for guests and make a little money, has increased 91% in Montana over the past year. Now, Airbnb reports 147,000 of what it calls guest arrivals in Montana last year. Those arrivals brought in $19.7 million to the Treasure State. Billings had 5,000 Airbnb guests, which brought in about $549,000. But according to a Billings hotel owner, not all Airbnb owners have paid their share of taxes, totaling about 9%.
When those facilities that are using Airbnb and they don't collect and remit those dollars, which is probably in excess of 90% of people that have Airbnb units up on Airbnb do not remit. And so they're using us, I guess, if you want to say it a different way, from that standpoint.
Now, Steve Warlick says he's looking for the state legislature for help during the 2019 session. The top Airbnb destination in Montana are Bozeman, Missoula, Whitefish, and West Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.
Not super surprising and all of that. There you go.
Very cool stuff. We do have to take a quick break, but up next, our political analyst, Dr. David Parker, sits down with Congressman Greg Gianforte. Stay tuned for that interview in just a moment.
But first, here's John Dickerson with a look at headlines coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, David Begnaud goes inside the Hawaii Command Center where that false missile alert was sent. And first on CBS This Morning, the executive vice president of CVS Health is here with how stores' beauty ads will look different in an effort to be more transparent with customers. See you at 7.